What's up guys, this is MD Classics and today I'm going to be doing a how-to video on how to replace your rear shocks on your vintage or antique car. First thing you're going to have to do is pick out the shocks you want. For this car I went with the XLG from KYB Shocks, and this one is a gas shock. They make multiple different kinds, but the important part is making sure each end of the shock is relative to what the vehicle requires. Now, it's usually best to check the measurements of the shock, but you can also go to your local auto parts store and they'll be able to figure out exactly what shock you need. This one is obviously for an Edsel, and yeah. Purchase the shock. It should also come with all this new hardware and the new bushings to go with it. The bolts on your shock aren't rusted. You won't need too many tools. This one actually came with the car when I bought it, and this is a lug nut wrench, but it also has this little pry bar for the hubcaps. Old style hubcaps like these, they also do sell these pry bar kits at your local auto parts store. Alright, and now after we have used that pry bar to get the hubcap off, we're going to be doing is cracking these lug nuts loose, but not off all the way. Depending on when your vehicle was last serviced, these might be pretty stuck on there. Once you break them loose, they're usually pretty easy to just twist off by hand. The thing you're going to need is a jack and a jack stand. Only really got to jack up one side, but you have to make sure that it's rated for the weight of your vehicle. In this case, this is a 3,700 pound car, 2.25 ton. Should be totally adequate for this. Just in the jack under a solid part of the frame, and then make sure this adjuster is twisted to the lift position. I want to periodically check to make sure it's lined up under there. In this case, we are perfectly lined up. Once the wheel is properly raised off the ground, you can go ahead and lower the jack onto the stand. Make sure the stand is aligned with the frame. There you go, just like that. And you're gonna wanna keep the jack in that position just for safety measures. Go ahead and remove all the lug nuts all the way now. And you can go slide the wheel off the hub, just like so. There you go. Once you're underneath the car, you'll be able to see the shock and where it's mounted to. Obviously, different models will have it mounted to different places, but for this car, we have one bolt down low and one bolt up high. You're gonna want to find the correct socket size of your ratchet and just stick it up there onto the bolt. Might take a little fiddling around with. And then you should be able to just loosen it from there. For this particular vehicle, you're gonna have two bolts up there. One to lock the bottom bolt, I believe. It's just a little lock nut right here like that. And just pop that guy off and then you can get to the real nut. Just like that, you can get that bottom nut off. Next step is take the shock and try to compress it out of the way. And as you can see, it has absolutely zero rebound, so it is bad. You can also see the bushings are cracked up there. Here's a look at what a really bad 60-plus-year-old shock bushing looks like. These old shocks, the bottom bolt usually gets super rusted on. So we're gonna try to spray some PB Blaster on it and try to get that thing off. And if it doesn't come off, we're just gonna grind it off. I did manage to get the lock washer off, but we might need to grind the second bolt off. Make sure to wear safety glasses while using the grinder. So I got my extension cord. It's wired up to the outlet back there. So let's go ahead and plug in the grinder and go at it. After a little bit of grinding, I managed to get this thing off. And now we can get the new shock on with the new hardware to go with it. There's a comparison between the new and the old shocks. A quick clip of what the rebound on the shock looks like. Pushing down right now. And it is coming up automatically, as you can see. By installing the bottom hardware on the shock, at this point we can come around here we should be able to slip it through there. Press it enough so we can get it through there temporarily as well. Go ahead and tighten that first bottom bolt onto there until it locks up. Get the top bolt onto the shock. You might just have to raise up this leaf spring like so. That should compress the shock enough so you'll be able to get that top bolt on. That should enable you to get that top bolt tight like so. And just like that, we have the top bolt and the bottom bolt on our shock on. And now we can go ahead and get that wheel on there. And by doing that, we can also lower this jack since we won't necessarily need the leaf spring in the air to do that. Now with the wheel on, we can start threading these guys on pretty lightly here. A little bit hard to do one-handed. There we go. Put the car up again and you can slip the jack stand right out of there. Set it aside. When you're ready, you can go ahead and lower the vehicle. Like so. Go ahead and tighten up those lug nuts all the way. And when you're done, you can hammer that hubcap back on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.